Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of That's Dope. My name is God's Will. We got our co-host Matt here, and we have the ever special, ever wonderful Juliet Michelle, aka Bishoujo Mom. Thank you so much for joining us. And of
Thank you so
course,
much for having me.
oh man, it's so great having you on. I'm so proud of you with everything you've been doing to the level of success you've made. Congratulations on your 1 million on Twitter.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we wanted to talk to you because, like, you are like the best person I know, like, who has made like OnlyFans work for them, as you know, better than like anyone else I know. I think you're the best person to talk with on this subject, on like what's been going on with OnlyFans outside of the OnlyFans headquarters, because like you have such a level of success on there and off of there, that it just makes sense to try to talk to you. And I appreciate you spending some time with us, even though you're just like you're busy. You're working out, like you're working on do so many different projects, and you spend some time with us. It means so much. Thank you so much.
I am always I will always make time for you. um, yeah, there's like so much. There's been so much going on this week, and it has been a lot. Like with OnlyFans, with like moving, with OnlyFans going back and forth on like what they're saying, and then all these new websites emerging. It has just been so crazy. But I can talk about all of it because there's a lot
Please.
that people don't know about. And I do want to like kind of let some people know, especially other like if girls that are doing what I do, like I'd love to give some tips and pointers because this is a very uncertain time for a lot of girls and guys' income. If you were relying on OnlyFans, it's a very uncertain time. So yeah, no, I'm happy to be talking about it with y'all, and I'm happy to be here. So thank you for having me. But yeah.
Oh yeah,
Man.
I'm so excited to hear, what's all going on because nobody
Hmm.
really knows, by and large at least. So I'd just love to hear what you got to say about it.
Absolutely. So I guess
Yeah.
first thing to ask, like, how are you doing? How hyped up are you right now? Especially like with this latest news that happened where they suspended banning what they were going to ban on OnlyFans.
I've been very emotional. It's just been kind of like a big like kick me while I'm already down type of feeling because OnlyFans itself, the only reason I use OnlyFans is because most of the traffic online is there. Like most people when they're going to, a platform, like especially for models, they're going to OnlyFans. Like Patreon has become more obsolete, especially because Patreon actually banned a lot of the sexy content, before OnlyFans did this. Like this has already happened to me. So this is kind of almost just a repeat because a lot of sites will ban sex work and sexy models and anything to do with nudity or any kind of erotic play. And it's mainly because of the payment processors and banks that are tied in with it. Anywho, there's a lot of banks that do not approve of sex work. There's speculation that a lot of it has to do with kind of like religious movements pushing like their agendas, like their purity agendas. But
I can see that.
actually, the biggest problem though with the payment processors is that they don't like sex work because it's high risk, and high risk is mainly associated with chargebacks, which I don't like to talk about this too much, but it is a real issue that sex workers, and honestly, there's other businesses that face this, where they deal with people that are just committing fraud. Like they'll pay for something and then take it back, which actually that is illegal. So if people do this too many times, they can actually get like arrested for it, or like they can have something like their banks can actually go after them for doing that. But porn and sex work like is one of the like highest industries with like high chargeback ratios, and I think that's why OnlyFans wanted to pull out, is it like wanting to make it more mainstream and comply with these banks, because they also want to have an app, and the app store doesn't accept any sex work. So that's like the main reason why they wanted to pull out. Except the problem is they're a multi-billion-dollar company, but they're only a billion-dollar company because of all the porn they have on their site. So yeah, that was kind of essentially like they wanted to be more legit with these banks, so they didn't have to pay such high bank fees. Um, because even I tried to have my own website, and I do have my own website, but I still have to sell through Gumroad because whenever I tried to have my own website, I went through this payment processor, and they were going to take about 40% of my income just
Whew.
just
Oh
for the
wow.
high risk. Yeah, and OnlyFans already takes 20% out of each individual purchase. So each subscription, each tip, each any like individual purchase, they take 20% out, and I have made that site so much money 'cause they take all they take all of it, and it's very frustrating, but it's actually cheaper, or at least not cheaper. It's better business for me going with a platform like OnlyFans because they take like less of a cut than having my own website, because my website would probably take 30 to 40%, which
Wow.
is yeah. That's just sorry, that's a little banking
No,
info,
this
but
is
that's
perfect.
why they
Is
wanted to do.
exactly actually what I wanted to ask you about, like, where it's like, what do you do? You know, like how, like, what is the best platform for you guys right now? And then also, um, you know, if it's OnlyFans, you know, I was about to ask, like, do you do your own website? Do you go to a different place? You know, what is best?
Yeah, so I mean, for this past year and a half, the best site was OnlyFans, and it was mainly because of how mainstream it was. I mean, Beyonce mentioned it in her song with Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, everyone talks about OnlyFans. It's so like well known and mainstream, and it's like almost every model, you know, even if they do porn or they just do nudes or if they just wear bikinis, like most models have an OnlyFans and they make so much money off of it. It's just such a mainstream site. So I think OnlyFans was definitely the best platform to have just because of how mainstream it was and because of how much traffic it brought in. Um, that was the best platform, except now I do not agree with that anymore. After the stunt that they pulled, like they pulled, I don't think they are reliable because even in their email they sent out saying that they reversed their porn ban, they said that they might do it later anyways. They
Hmm.
said, oh, this might happen later. We might do it, but yeah, it's the only reason I think they reversed it is because of how big of an uproar everyone made about it. And also the numbers dropped severely. Even on my OnlyFans, every girl I know, every guy I know with an OnlyFans, everybody in between, like gender, like regardless, everyone I know, their numbers dropped severely. People were straight up deleting their accounts. They were
Yeesh.
moving over to other platforms. I made a Fansly, which is, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Fansly, I think, is the best place now to like, because they fully support sex workers. I'm actually in, I'm texting like one of the head people right now. Like I've been in
Oh,
Ooh.
hey.
and that's I'll go on a tangent on this because I've been talking to the
Feel
heads
free.
of
Yeah, look, this is your platform. I love that you're venting and like just letting us all know like what is
yeah.
going on.
I'm sorry if I'm like
Yeah,
over
yeah,
talking,
please.
but
No, no, no. You go
yeah.
go as fast as you want, say as much as you want. This is your chance.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, I've been in like direct contact with several heads of these different websites, such as Fansly, Just for Fans, Frisk VIP, and there's one other site that I was talking to. But those three were the ones I was talking to, like directly to like the people that are like in charge of it. And I made the like assessment that Fansly is the best place to go to, and I made the right choice, and I will explain why I made the right choice in just a second. But yeah, so far I've been in direct contact with the heads of Fansly. They are very supportive of sex work. They have literally stated like they are never going to back out on sex workers. They're making the platform specifically like catered to us, not pretending that this is some legit platform for people that cook.
Yeah,
That's what OnlyFans has been doing. Like,
Right.
oh,
that's
this
what I
is
was
a
shocked
workout
about.
cooking hobby thing.
Like you're
Like, no
using
one goes on
like X,
OnlyFans for
No.
cooking videos.
right? It's like let's see Mia Khalifa do some
Yeah.
pottery. It's like what? It's like come on, let's just be real about like what's going
Yeah.
on.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean the way OnlyFans like they love to make it seem like their site is like legit for like just basic hobbyists, but it's legit for sex work. And that was kind of the whole point of it. And then the way they just like backed out. And honestly, when I got the news, I thought it was fake news because this has happened two other times this year.
Oh,
Um,
with
yeah,
OnlyFans?
yes, like the first time this happened was I think back in March. They said that Tim Stokely, the creator of OnlyFans, was going to go to prison, and that ended up being fake news. And then, actually, 2 months ago, the same kinds of articles came out saying that they were going to ban porn, and then they didn't do it. And then even Tim Stokely, which I don't believe that this is true, I think it might have also been kind of a fake news thing. Apparently, he released a statement saying that he was never gonna ban porn. Like like said it himself, which it was through text. It wasn't like a legit thing. I don't know how true it was, but apparently there was an article released saying that he said that. And then, last Thursday, the number one trending thing in America on Twitter was OnlyFans is banning porn. And it was
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
like the Bloomberg and Variety. And so that was more legit. And it was like, they sent the email to me and it was
Mm,
true. So
Damn.
yikes.
Whew.
yeah, it
That must
was
have been
That's
it
fucked
was
up,
terrifying.
a
honestly.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I was freaking out. I like because at first I didn't believe it, and then when I got the email from OnlyFans, they said we are going to implement this October 1st. So I had up until October 1st to delete all of my explicit content. And the problem with their rules is that they were very vague because, okay, they said that you can keep nudity. And I do nude work, and I also do some other content that's a little more explicit. But they said, and this is funny, but this is what they said. They said you can still do nudity, but you cannot show your genitals or your anus in an offensive or sexual way.
What?
And I'm like,
Oh my
how
god.
do you like are
Yeah.
so you are
How do you
banning
judge
nudity?
that?
Yeah.
No,
Like,
this is an
I
artful
was
way, you
like,
know?
what the fuck? Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, wouldn't you think that that's still banning nudity, right? If you can't show like half of your body, like I don't know. And like when I got that, I was just like, so they are banning nudes. Like they're going back and forth. Um, and I haven't deleted any of my explicit content because I was gonna wait till like the very last second. And I'm also now transferring, and this is taking me so long. And I'm actually having my friend who's my assistant, I'm having her help me transfer all my OnlyFans content to Fansly, which is
Oh.
just this long process. But I was like, I'm just gonna do that. So Fansly will be my main, and I'll still use OnlyFans, but it's gonna be like for not explicit, more like cosplay nudes.
Mhm.
And then I got the email yesterday, and they were saying, "Oh, never mind, we're not going to do that." And I'm like, everybody already deleted their accounts and jumped ship. Everyone I know already lost. Like I lost like a chunk of people. Everybody like started deleting their accounts, and like because during the course of this whole week, because it was Thursday they announced it, and then this like yesterday on Wednesday was when they pretty much were like, never mind, like we're gonna allow explicit content, except there is a clause like in their terms of service saying that we still have the right to do this. We still have the right to implement this, but we won't let you know next time. That's essentially kind of what they
wow.
said. So I'm not really trusting it. I'm like,
No.
Mm-mm.
mm,
No way. No, I think
um,
their time is coming to an end on that. Because yeah, I've heard real
yeah.
good things about Fansly. Honestly, uh, I was like going to ask that already, and you brought it up that Fansly is the one to go to. So,
Yeah, yeah, so Fansly, like, has that trust, right? And, I guess what
Yeah.
else, like, makes it, stand out, from the other competitors?
The first thing that stood out to me specifically is because, okay, Fansly's competitors right now, okay, and I'm gonna just list two other competitors that I was in direct contact with, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you why I did not go with them. And this isn't me like saying, oh, don't use these sites, but it also is kind of me saying that because Fansly, first off, they offered me, instead of taking a 20% cut of my income for the first 3 months, they offered to only take 15%, which is a big difference for me, especially because I'm like I have to pay self-employment taxes. There is just like every
Oh,
penny to
wow.
me counts because I'm saving it for taxes. I'm saving it for like my family. I'm saving it, So when they said they could offer me a
Hmm.
15%, like, instead of the 20%, I was like, yes, I will take the 85% of my income instead of the 80. And also, like the other sites, one of the other sites was the 20%, but the other site was a 30%. And I was like,
Mm.
30% is too much. Like that is almost where I could just open my own site and use a payment processor that's going to charge me that much. So that's the first thing with Fansly is that they offered me that, and no other site has offered me that so far, and that was like that meant a lot to me. The second thing is I am in direct contact with like the heads of it, and they have been texting me, not even through Twitter. Like I have their number, we have been texting, and they've listened to my concerns. Like one of my concerns I had was I wanted to be featured on their like little feature page because right now they just feature like I guess Twitch streamers like Amaranth and a few. I don't really know Twitch. I don't watch Twitch streams. I don't really know. But they featured just a couple of girls, and I was like, oh, like, is there any way that I can get on that just to boost my account up? Even if it is for a week, I'm trying to get more exposure.
Of course,
And
as you're transferring, yeah.
yeah, yeah, like while I'm transferring over, like I'd love to get that exposure, just because, it's been like a mess. Like this only because most of my people were on OnlyFans, and now I'm like, I just want to get more people. And they even made a tweet today saying that they're going to work on implementing the new system for the features where it changes like weekly or monthly or whatever. And I was so happy they actually listened to me. No site has ever listened to me ever. So that was another thing, and I love the way the site works. Which have y'all looked at the site at all? Like, have y'all actually like made an account yet? Or
Not
I've
yet.
looked at it a little bit. I didn't make an account yet, but I was just kind of like going through it a little bit just to see kind of the layout and whatnot. It does look really, really clean. I do like the layout and whatnot.
yeah, the layout is almost like Twitter in a way. It's a little bit of like a Twitter, a little bit of like OnlyFans layout, except I love that they have more features than OnlyFans. The only feature they don't have yet is live streams, which I do live streams on my OnlyFans,
Mm.
except they did tell me that they are currently working on adding that to their site. They're currently working on it. So within a few months or so, I'll have that feature anyways, and then there will be like no reason
No
for
reason to go
OnlyFans.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like no reason. And no, their features are great because people can follow you for free, and you can
Mm.
post a few like freebies here and there just to like kind of entice people, like to get them to join. But also, you can have different tiers of like subscriptions because with OnlyFans, it was like one price and done. But I have two different prices. I have like my normal subscription, which is like $15, and then I have my VIP subscription, which is $100, but you get like a ton of shit with my
Hey.
VIP, which I'm actually gonna like call it like my normal subscription is gonna be called Kings, and then my $100 subscription is gonna be called Gods because you get treated like a king and then you get treated like a god,
Hey.
Um, yeah, like I'm super happy. Like they have cool features on this site, and it's been really fun to use, and I feel like more excited rather than like kind of getting stressed out, because
Mhm.
one of the things that stressed me out with OnlyFans is that like they would almost like always try to make it about numbers, like the whole platform, like the whole interface of the platform is like you can see how many followers you can have, and you can immediately see when it drops, like if someone doesn't subscribe, or and then they also
Oh, that's
always
too
showed
much.
your yeah, and they always showed your statistic and like kind of comparing you to other models.
I was wondering about that. I was like, it is cool to be like the top 0.1% or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, is that a sort of good mindset? Is sort of competition against other people when it doesn't really need to be like that?
Okay, yeah, I actually like, and this is just me full on like admitting this.
Hmm.
I became so obsessed with my numbers that I actually had to like talk to my therapist about it because it was
Oh,
like unhealthy. Because my biggest goal was like, I want to be the 0.01%. And I did it. I was able to accomplish it. And
the
I was
very
able to
best
keep
it
it
ever
for like,
was.
yeah, I was so excited about it. But once I hit that, I felt like so unfulfilled. I was like,
Mm.
I work so hard and I'm still like it's like it's never enough. Like you keep wanting to like outdo yourself, and it's not that I am comparing myself to other women because I don't like that kind of competitive nature, but it's also like you just feel like you constantly have to keep outdoing yourself, and I don't like that because this is my job. This isn't like an athletic competition sport, you know? So that kind of aspect with OnlyFans was very unhealthy because you had girls kind of posting their numbers, and I posted my number. My number was in my bio. Like I'm 0.01%, and so you can come find out why. And I've been realizing like that's kind of like it is a flex, but it's almost like people base your worth off of that, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not wanting to do that with Fansly. I don't want to focus on my like my statistics or whatever. I just want to like make the content and put it out there. And Fansly like has a really good like system for it. Like it shows you how many followers you have and it shows people that, but your subscribers, they're not like shoving your subscriber number down your throat. And I really love the way that's set up. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel like less like anxious and stressed about it, but
That's good.
that's just me. So
Well, I'm sure you're not alone on that. I mean, if you feel that way, I mean, it sounds like it's kind of an issue out there, you know. So it's good that they don't do that. So
Yeah, it sounds
yeah.
more collaborative than the competition aspect that I'm not sure if it was trying to go for that, but it sounds less competitive like on Fansly, but more about supporting the community, which sounds way better.
Yeah, yeah, they've been like way more supportive and they've been making it less of like a money grab and more of like, hey, like we actually want to provide like cool features for you. We want to make this a fun experience rather than feeling like you have to hustle. Cuz
Yeah.
OnlyFans feels like more of a hustle rather than like a fun experience. At least that's how I feel. And it's mainly just because it's so numbers oriented. That's why everybody posts their numbers. That's why everybody is like, I'm in the top 1% or I'm in the top 0.01. You know, it's just like all of this like weird hustle and like competitive nature thing. And it makes me like sad because it's like I don't want to feel like I'm always like competing with either myself or other women. But that's a cool thing about it. And I don't know, I really love the site overall, and I recommend people just to make an account because you don't even have to put your card information to make an account. But with
Ah,
OnlyFans, you have to put your card information, and you can follow people for free. Like you don't have to pay for something if you don't want to, but you can pay for something even if you're not subscribed to them, which is also cool. Um,
that is very cool. Yeah.
yep. Time to go to
yeah.
incognito mode right now.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I and a lot of my friends follow me and I follow them, and so we get to like just see each other's stuff, and it's been like a really positive experience for me so far. And I'm really glad I chose Fansly because the other two sites that I mentioned had a lot of issues recently. And would you like me to talk about that
Please,
on
please.
yeah.
Okay, so there was one site, and actually, I had a little weird Twitter beef thing with a few people over this, but I'm going to
Oh, oh.
explain it. Because I try really hard not to have Twitter beef. I try really hard
Hmm.
to keep my mouth shut. I have opinions, I know I do, but so the site Just for Fans, which is actually ran by a sex worker, which I was in direct contact with him, and it was all cool. But at first, I didn't really. This was before I was in contact with him, but it was Just for Fans, and they were trying to like kind of replace OnlyFans once this information got out. They made this whole like long post saying, "Well, y'all should join this site that's mainly for like that's created by sex workers," you know, and I was like, I would move all my stuff over, but y'all take a 30% cut, which
Mm,
is way like that's 10% more than OnlyFans. That's a big difference. Like
Yeah, it
10%
is.
of like each individual purchase. That's a lot. And I said, I don't think I can do that. Like that's an awful cut, especially when I'm like selling my body. Like that's a whole other tangent I can go on, but I'm like, these sites, the people that own these sites are already making millions of dollars, and I know that like the reason they take such a big cut is because of payment processors, except when these other sites are able to offer me 15, you
Yeah,
should
much
be able to
less.
offer less, you
Be
know?
competitive. Yep.
right.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I made a post on that, and then people were like, "Oh, well these sites have to make money too." And I'm like, I am fine with people taking a cut. I think if I'm using your platform, you're allowed to take some of my money. I'm using your platform. I'm not against the cut, but when it's an unreasonable number, when you're taking 30, 40, 50% of my money, that is too much, like, for that,
Hmm.
and I have the right to not want to use your site.
Yeah. Especially when
Um,
other sites are being competitive, like with actual decent rates. Yeah.
Right.
Like
yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
why
there's
go to the
other
worst
sites
rate
that are
just
offering
because?
less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, and that was kind of my argument with it. And I'm also, and someone also said, like, why do you care? You're already rich, like, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter. Like, one of the reasons, like, people, like, are able to be rich or get rich is because they're not, like, letting themselves be scammed by these sites that are taking cheap living.
Yeah.
You don't want to sell
Hmm.
yourself short, and you don't want people to take too much from you. That's the whole, like, kind of part of this business. But yeah, I was kind of going back and forth. I mean, I shouldn't go back and forth with someone with a fucking Joker profile picture,
Oh
but
Lord.
Uh-oh.
whatever.
Red flags.
Oh man.
I know, right?
Anime profile pictures, jokers,
Just
American
no
flags,
go.
Yeah,
probably not,
Oh yeah.
right?
The Punisher skull.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there we
yeah.
go. Good one.
Yeah, no, you don't want to argue with any of those. Yeah, no. But I kind of got into it because I was already pissed off at this whole OnlyFans thing.
Hmm.
Which, like, I have, like, moderators on my Twitter too that just block people who are annoying. I
Oh,
literally
good
tell,
stuff.
like, my moderator, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, block anyone who's even remotely annoying or rude. Like, even
Smart.
if they're slightly rude, block them. I don't think they
Oh
need to
yeah.
see my shit. And I
It's
think
not worth the
everyone should do that.
stress. Yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got. I mean, you
it's
got to 1 million, 1.1 million. Yeah, like you don't have to stress about like the followers. Yeah, I think like having
Hmm.
quality followers is just gonna be. I mean, the amount of harassment that you get like normally, I bet, right? Like that. Yeah, save your sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, especially, like, one of my big issues is I don't like it when people who have never worked a day in their life being a sex worker, who have like, I don't like when people act as if they know exactly what I do, and they can, like, form an opinion almost as if they are in my shoes.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
that seems to be the case with a lot of people during this whole OnlyFans thing. They're like,
Yeah, I actually
oh,
wanted to
it's
ask
not that
about that.
bad.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's not that bad. You make a lot of money.
All the
Like,
jokes that people
you'll
made
be
about people
fine.
going to real jobs, right?
God,
Oh my
disgusting.
gosh, yeah. I had this
Hmm.
whole, like, thing where I'm like, y'all don't want me working a real job. Like, y'all wouldn't want me to be your server. I will spit in your food. Like, you don't want me. I'm a dominatrix. Like, I spit on people. You want me to spit on your food? Like, yeah, you don't want me to work a real job. And I made a post. I was like, don't tell me to get a real job. The only jobs I'm interested in are blow jobs and boob jobs. Okay, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
is important. Keeps us
but
all a little bit more sane.
yeah. But yeah, no, people were kind of, making a whole big fuss about this, especially when I was kind of, like, going back and forth with the Just for Fans site, because I was like, I don't like this 30% thing. I don't think that's cool. And then the guy, like, the actual owner of the site, messages me and, like, explains to me, oh, it's because, there's such high bank fees, and we literally can't afford with our business. Like, even our payroll is considered a high risk business. We can't afford to lower that. And I was like, well, I mean, that's unfortunate, and, like, I it makes more sense now, but also at the same time, it's like these other sites are still able to offer less. So if you went
Hmm.
all across the board less, you could potentially just get more subscribers, and it would equal out. Like, it would equal it out, because that's kind of
Right.
what Fansly is doing, and Fansly is doing better than any of the other sites because they did that. They did what I said, and I was actually going to FaceTime the person who owns Just for Fans just to kind of talk to them, because I was like, and this is before I chose Fansly, and I was like, I would, if I do choose your site, I really would like to, talk to you, and I'd like to help you. I want to promote your site. I want, if I whatever site I'm picking is going to be the next big site. I'm not going with any of these sites that are going to fail. And I was gonna FaceTime him. We had this whole thing set up, and then a bunch of people were messaging me because I was talking about this Just for Fan site, and they were like, "Oh, the owner of this site, like, has, like, sexual assault allegations,"
Oh
and
shit.
so. I was like, oh my God, like, no, I'm not, I don't want to go into business with someone who has a whole article about them. So that was like a big red
Hmm.
flag for me. The 30% thing was a red flag, which is not nearly as big of a red flag as the allegations
Yeah.
against him.
Hmm.
Um, but that's why I kind of like backed away from Just for Fans, because I was like, this seems like problematic. Like I don't want to get involved with, because if someone has like a, like an allegation like that, which, sorry, I should have put
For
a trigger
sex works.
warning.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you want to put a trigger warning before that, I'm so sorry. Like
All good. Hmm.
that is something that like I take very seriously, especially within this industry, because since we're all sex workers, we should know by now what consent is. um it's our job to
We
know what
should
consent
know.
is.
All right. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that was like the first, like I was like, okay, no, I'm not choosing Just for Fans. Too much issues with that. And then the other site was Frisk VIP, which 2 or 3 days ago the whole site was hacked and it
Oh
was
Oh
no.
shit.
messy. Yeah, I actually want to send you a photo of what it looked like.
I mean, please.
I don't know if
Yeah.
they fixed it yet, but the entire site, it pretty much said like you've been hacked. It had a picture of like a skull, like with like a pirate thing. It was very
Oh my
scary. I
god.
would actually, I like looked on the site and I was like, I hope my VPN is on. Oh my god!
You're right.
But I don't know if they stole everyone's bank info, but they pretty much went in and deleted everybody's content, everybody's profiles, at least the
Whew.
top people.
Good
And
lord.
because it was a site that was like not secured, or there was a breach in their security, and they took over that, and I was freaking out because I made an account, but I didn't have my banking info, and I didn't
That's good.
have,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I didn't have any info on there besides the fact that it was just like my profile picture and like my cover photo. And so there was nothing like on it, but I like was like, oh my God. And I felt so bad for everyone that had that account like on that site, because I have no idea what they took. Like they could have taken their banking info, they could have taken their earnings.
Hmm.
Um, it was just a sickening feeling. And I'm glad I didn't go with Frisk VIP because that was the other option. And so this has just been a horrible week for sex workers because like
God.
it's like one after the other, like all these things.
Yeah, it
I
shouldn't
Um,
be
can
this
imagine.
hard.
yeah, yeah, but that was kind of like, I made the good choice of going with Fansly because so far they have been the best. And I recommend everyone, every sex worker, and everybody who wants to buy content to go to Fansly because it is the best thing right now. um but yeah, yeah, I can stop like rambling on, but that is the biggest thing. But as I said with the whole Twitter thing, like I was so back and forth on it too, because at first I was like, y'all shouldn't be taking 30% of people's incomes, and then I was like, oh, it's because of the banks. But also at the same time, these other sites, they offer less, and also these other sites don't have like
Hmm.
sexual predators running them. So I kind of just went back and forth. I feel like I'm just going crazy, but
No, no,
yeah.
no. This has been a runaround. Quite the. I mean, like, I'm glad that we actually waited also until today to talk about it because
Hmm.
like I hit you up like when it first breached, and then more news is coming out. So I'm really glad to hear that you got yourself settled. Actually, like that makes me happy. But also, yeah, that's why I want to talk to you because I wasn't like super worried for you particularly. Like, like you're just so savvy with like what you're doing that like I was like, oh, you're gonna be okay, but it's really good to have this perspective.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like it's not that I was like super like scared of like, oh, I'm going to lose like everything, but I did have that feeling a little bit. It's like I still have, like my fans will follow me anywhere, and that's like a very like I'm blessed to have that, cuz people have messaged me saying like wherever you go I'll go, and I was like thank you, like, and I really need that reassurance because when the news first broke, I was just like I was so scared that there wasn't going to be another site with that kind of traffic, because as
Mhm.
I said, the reason OnlyFans has so many people on it is because of the popularity of it. It's just so
Right.
popular. And I was just worried. I'm like, I really hope another site is able to have that same popularity thing. And I'm hoping Fansly, like, that's the one. Like, Fansly is the one. But there's a few other sites that people have been telling me to go to, like Pocket Stars, and like AVN Stars. But I really don't like the website layout of that.
Mm.
Um, and it's funny. I actually made this kind of comparison because I have a manyvids, which I need to upload more videos there. I only have one video for sale on manyvids, but I have a manyvids, but I really don't like the way the website looks. And if y'all have ever been on manyvids, it is too like overstimulating for me. I have like mental stuff. I'm like, I have a whole slew of like mental stuff, but when you open the site, it's like pussy, pussy, dicks, jerking off, sex, sex. It's like all of that. It's almost like Pornhub, but I think it's even more extreme because it's like
Wow.
Wow.
sex. And I get too distracted. And they also have people like lined up as if you're like going to a pound, like picking up a dog, which I don't like to compare people to dogs, but
Wow.
it's like they have their like pictures lined up, almost like mugshots kind of like their pussies. And I think it's just too overstimulating. And I like
Hmm.
the like anonymity of OnlyFans and Fansly, because and even Patreon, which I don't use Patreon anymore, but at least OnlyFans and Fansly had that kind of thing where it wasn't like this is a porn site. It had this thing where you can kind of like look around and see what you like. It's not
And go
like
behind the veil.
bam.
Uh-huh. Yes. That
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
and yeah, I feel like the sites like Pocket Stars, it's just like you see people's faces like everywhere, and it's like you're picking out like it's almost like you're picking out a pet or something. And I don't really like that layout. And maybe that's just me because I'm just weird and I'm very
Hey.
particular about layouts of sites.
Uh-huh.
No, that makes sense.
Um yeah, but I mean, I don't know. What would if y'all were like going to join a site, like what kind of site would you like? That's my question to you.
I would
Hmm.
definitely judge it based off the layout up front, just like you. It's like super important. I judge it real hard if like it's got like poor design work or whatever. Um, and so that would be like a huge thing. But also, I think probably from the sounds of it, my favorite thing about Fansly that you've said so far for um, for the fans, is that everyone is free to kind of sample. You can go in and see what it's all about, and then you can subscribe. And then I love that they have like multiple tiers as well. So it's almost like they took the best parts of Patreon, Twitter, and OnlyFans together. So yeah, I would definitely be looking for like the layout, but also accessibility, really.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's really
yeah,
good.
no,
Yeah.
that's what I like about it too. Yeah. What
That's
about
dope.
you, Goswell?
I mean, yeah, Matt said it really well, and you sold me honestly on Fansly. Like, I like how you have been talking this whole time about like how easy it is to work with the site and like how well it rewards the people that it works with. Like, I think those are the important things that you should think about for the long term. So, hearing these things about Fansly have sold me, and the fact that you can make a free account without having to, buy in. That's one of the biggest
Mm-hmm.
reasons I haven't done. I guess other sites is like, do I want to put my credit card information in this either for safety reasons or just to like be like, okay, I'm here. So yeah, I like to dip my feet in and then jump in, right? So yeah, you sold me with Fansly.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I
Wow.
think it is definitely the best thing out. And I think like cuz as I said I've already dealt with this whole thing where cuz Patreon, that was where it kind of started for me with like online content creation, like where I made it a job. And I was doing Patreon from the end of 2017 all the way up until I guess like the end of 2020. So I was doing Patreon for about like 3 years or so, maybe
wow.
even three and a half, like almost. But uh, I was doing that, and then they kept implementing new rules, like we're banning custom content. We're banning any content involving like masturbation or toys or anything to do with like insertion. And so they kept like slyly like updating, like, you can't do this. You can't do this anymore. You can't do this anymore. And I got to the point where I actually have a video of this too, because a lot of people didn't believe me. And then I just like I recorded with my phone, like what was wrong. the my Patreon site glitched out, like completely glitched out. I could
Hmm.
not see anybody on my tiers, and I could not see my messages. I could just see the number of people who were on, but I couldn't see any of their names. It was super bizarre.
Hmm.
I messaged the Patreon support. No one got back to me. It was almost like my account was gone, but people could still pay. Like people could still join. I just couldn't see it. I got their money, but I couldn't see them. And I kept saying like, "Hey, email me for rewards because I can't pay you." Like, or not, I cannot pay
Mm.
you. I can't send it to you. If that
Hmm.
makes sense. Like, I can't send you the rewards. And that's why I stopped using it. Actually, I was going to continue to use it, and then it just stopped working. Did not hear from support, and I feel like that was Patreon's way of like really booting me off, but still taking people's
Yeah.
money, which I thought was super
Right.
strange. And the reason I didn't delete it, I deleted all my tiers except for one tier, and it was, and I have in my bio like, don't don't go on here, go to my other sites. um because I the only reason I kept it was because I wanted to see if I'll ever get my messages back, if I could send those people their rewards,
Mm.
because
Hmm.
there's a lot of people who I have not sent rewards to that have not contacted me through email, even though I kept saying like, contact me through email, and people haven't. But yeah, Patreon screwed me over big time, and so I pretty much went like mainly on OnlyFans. I do have my own website where I sell my past photo sets, which is on bishoujomom.com, which is like linked to my Gumroad. So you can still buy content, but like the bulk source of like content creating income has come from OnlyFans. So yeah, just this whole thing was like a big like, oh my god, they're pulling a Patreon on me. It's like PTSD.
Uh,
Um
Mm.
that
and
sucks.
yeah, like it's all happened before. And so I wasn't like completely shocked, but I was a little bit surprised that they would be that stupid. You know what I mean? Cuz
Yeah.
like all of their money comes from porn.
That's what I
Um
was thinking. They're just going to go bankrupt without you guys. Like, what are they?
Yeah.
Don't
yeah.
joke around. Come on.
90, yeah, 90 something percent like of everything OnlyFans is pretty
Right.
much sex work. It's sort of, it's synonymous. So yeah,
Yep.
it's sort of weird to see them like try to be like, oh, we're gonna switch gears. Oh, sorry, no, we're not. And then yeah, just now is like, as you said, like all this trust is gone. Like I don't, and you've
Yeah.
explained it so well. And then also even like Instagram too, like like that screwed you over many times, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. My account was deleted for 6 weeks, and thankfully I've been able to kind of break the code with it. Like I know how to get my Instagram account back now. So if it ever gets
Hey.
deleted again, I'll be able to get it back, but um it's not a fun process. It's a very, it's annoying. However, I haven't been posting um to I feel like there's no point to post on Instagram because the only reason I have like social media is to promote my websites, like my OnlyFans or my Fansly or whatever, my website. And the
Mm.
fact that I can't even do that, I can't say the word site, SITE. You can't
Huh.
type
Wow.
that out. It gets removed. Every word I say is like censored. Um, I don't know. I've
Right.
heard some theories about that. Like I've heard some theories about how like when you're a model and you reach like a certain like level of followers, someone gets like assigned your like
Mm.
there's a group of models, and like there's like one person who like gets to oversee like all of your accounts and gets to delete what they want. That's what I heard
Oh.
from someone that like has like an in with OnlyFans, or not OnlyFans, Instagram. Sorry, my
Mhm.
brain's all over the place. But a lot of the times, I guess like your accounts can get targeted by someone who works there. So that's great to know.
That's awful.
Jeez.
Then that was actually one of the questions I wanted to ask because I've seen you and other models, try to still promote to OnlyFans in the past and Fansly going forward. Um, like, why do you think that they target that specifically? Because I know that they're out in the open about not wanting to allow any sort of nudity or too lewdness on their site, right? But why do you think it affects them to promote for another site?
Um, I have a few. So I think there's a few reasons why. It's like the first thing is any kind of sexual solicitation is 100% banned from Instagram, and I blame the bot accounts because like if you're on
Mm.
Instagram, sometimes you'll like, checks the comment section and you see a lot of bots just being like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, click the link in my bio. I'm doing a live nude show." But the link in the bio is like just some weird obscure site with like numbers on it. It's not like a real thing. It's just like bots. Um,
Mm.
they might automatically program you to be a bot if you use certain keywords like to allude to other websites.
Mm.
So that's just sad that they are, they added that to it. But the other thing is I think um they don't like taking attention away from your like from Instagram. Like for example, if I
Mm.
promote my Twitter, they remove those posts.
Oh
They
wow.
don't let me say the word Twitter. They don't like me directing attention to other sites.
Outside. Okay.
So they're just
Yeah,
basically little
they're like, you
bitches.
have to stay only on Instagram. That's the only thing you can use. And that's really annoying because I can't post fun things there. And there's some girls who I notice that will post very sexy and sexual photos. And I know their accounts are going to get deleted. I just know it. Like once you hit like 150K, or about 120K, because on my personal account, that's when this happened, because it was almost like I could tell
Oh,
once
you
you hit a
felt it in
certain
the air.
number. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you'll start getting targeted by these reporters, I guess, at Instagram, and your account will just go away. It will get deleted. And I've been telling people, I was like, y'all gotta be more careful. Some of y'all like straight up have like your nipples showing. Like there's one girl, and I took like a whole like screen recording too, because I was on Instagram and I was just like scrolling down, and I see girls with like their areolas like showing, and I
Oh.
see
Hmm.
girls that have like see through tops on, wearing fishnets. You can see their nipples under it, and I'm like, it's weird how like my fully clothed photos have like been removed, but these are still up.
Mm.
But then I was just
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, once they hit a certain like number, they're gonna realize they can't post that shit anymore, and it's sad. Like I don't like seeing that happen to other girls, but like it's going to happen, you know.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
so much sense
Twitter's
too.
been great though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do like
yeah,
Titter. Yeah.
yeah.
Man,
Twitter can
it's
post
it's
anything.
it's a bummer to hear about all this weird drama like behind the scenes and like no communication, but it is cool to hear that like there are some places that are starting to communicate a lot more like Fansly. Um Man, yeah, like the communication sounds like this the worst part, like not knowing why you're in trouble or like what the explicit rules are. Even with this
Hmm.
OnlyFans thing or for sure Instagram as you've been going through or Patreon.
Yeah, yeah. It's just all been like so weird, and I'm glad that I'm so thankful that Fansly has been like like they've been communicating with me, because no other site has ever done that. And I guess I am like, happy, and maybe the reason they are communicating with me so much is because of my high following, but I am just like really happy that they're doing it anyways, and they've been listening to other people too, because I have another friend that they've been talking to that doesn't have as many followers, but it's still just good that like they're responsive and they're actually like listening to my concerns about
Yeah,
everything. And yeah, like I really
communication is key.
appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, cool. Yeah, honestly, like, thank you so much for joining us, like, and like talking about all this. Is there anything else that I guess like comes to mind with this whole situation? Like, I guess what's next, even outside of Fansly, or like is Fansly like the main focus for now?
Um, right now, my main focus is getting all my OnlyFans content transferred over to Fansly, and I'm gonna make Fansly my number one site, except I will still be using OnlyFans because I have such a high number of people on there, and I'll be posting pretty much the same content. It'll almost be like a backup, you know, like I'll have the same stuff. I might have some exclusive on Fansly, so I get more people to go over there, like some
Hmm.
things that will only be available to Fansly. Um, but yeah, my main focus is trying to like build my Fansly up as much as I can. And I'm also doing other things too. I have a new merchandise product coming out. I would
Ooh,
actually love to show y'all and maybe do like a little product reveal, but I have to go get it.
gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm doing a merchandise like product thing that I'm going to be selling, and then next month, uh, during September 24th through the 26th, I will be guesting at a convention called EchiCon, which
Mm-hmm.
is a sexy hentai anime convention. It's very up my alley. I'm gonna be like meeting lots of fans. I'm having a lot of fun. I get to host a rave with one of my favorite people in the world, Midna Ash. I think you
Ooh,
met her
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's like my favorite. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. But yeah, we get to host a rave together, so I'm really excited. Even though this whole OnlyFans thing has been annoying, I'm still like looking forward to the convention. I'm super like happy about everything overall. Like it's been a rough week, but I have a lot of like fun things to look forward to. So everything will be good.
Awesome. Well, I'm really happy for you. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us about this whole situation. You've really shown a light on like what's going on, and I'm sorry I had to keep going through those ups and downs. Like it's stressed me out, So
Oh yeah.
yeah, like I'm happy that you're like on a good path right now, and I'm excited for you. I gotta sign up for a Fansly right now, and hope to see you at EchiCon. I think I gotta get some tickets and make my way down there in Austin, Texas, right?
Yes, it's in Austin, Texas. I encourage everyone to go. It'll be super fun, and there's a lot of fun things we're doing. I get to do a whole panel called "Ask an OnlyFans Girl," except I
Gotta
think
change
now
the
the
title to that
panel will
now.
be, yeah. Now I'll have to change it to "Ask a Fansly Girl," or it could be "Ask an Angry OnlyFans Girl."
Hey, there we go. I think that's a good one. I'm excited to see like how
Oh
that
yeah.
panel will go. Well, dope. Thank you so much for joining us. You're wonderful and dope. I can't wait to have you on the show again in the future when you're even bigger. Anything that you'd like to say, Matt?
I mean, other than we better go out to EduCon. Me
Yeah,
and you.
right.
Get the
Yeah.
boys. Let's go.
Yeah,
So that's super
definitely
exciting.
come see me.
Hey,
We'll
awesome.
be there.
Definitely plan to. Thank you so much. I hope to put this episode out as soon as possible because this is hotcakes right now. So, thank you so much for spending time and explaining this whole situation. And to everyone listening, stay dope as always. Peace.